When Alex's parents handed Mariah the prenup with the phrase, "This is Alex's house and you'll walk away with nothing," they didn't even hide their smugness. They really thought they had outsmarted her. But it all went wrong when, years later, she handed Alex the divorce papers and revealed that there was a clause in that very contract that changed everything. When Maria met Alex, her life was stable. She worked for an international logistics company as a software developer, had a good salary, rented a modern apartment in Austin, Texas, and didn't depend on anyone. Alex, on the other hand, grew up in luxury. His parents, Tracy and Andrew Anderson, owned a large luxury real estate agency in New York. They bought their son an apartment in Miami, paid his tuition at Boston University, and got him a job at the family firm. He was spoiled and used to having everything decided with a snap of the fingers. When Maria and Alex started dating, she immediately sensed that his parents disapproved of her. Tracy asked pointed questions on every visit. "What do you do for a living? Who are your parents?" Andrew kept quiet and pretended she didn't exist. They were polite, but with an icy undertone. Maria understood she was not someone they wanted around their son. But Alex seemed different. Or so it seemed to her. He said, "I don't care what my parents think. I love you. You're special." Maria believed it. Foolishly. Sincerely. She thought love would win. When he proposed, she rejoiced. She had hoped that his family would now accept her. Instead, they invited her to dinner, which turned out to be a formality before the humiliation. Tracy, pouring herself some wine, said with a smile, "Before we move on, Maria, there's an important point to discuss." Andrew placed a folder on the table. "This is the prenup?" she asked quietly. "Just a formality," Tracy replied. "A document that protects Alex and guarantees that you won't get anything if something goes wrong." Alex was silent. Stared at his plate. "It's his apartment, his property," Andrew added. "And you'll leave with what you came with." Maria had never once asked them for money. But now they were putting her in the position of a fortune hunter. "I'm sure you understand," Tracy said with a cold smile. Maria understood everything. But she didn't walk away. She was in love. And stupidly thought, "I don't need their money. It doesn't change anything." She signed. There was a look of triumph in their eyes. The first 6 months were good. Then they were ordinary. The third year, Maria started to see, Alex was changing. He became lazy, not trying, not courting. If she tried to talk about it, he waved her off. "You're dramatizing everything." Then he started talking like his mother. "Do you really go out like that? Maybe it's time you got some Botox. You should be grateful that I'm taking care of you." This despite the fact that Maria was working full-time, paying the bills, living in the house his parents had given him, but which he considered his own. "This is my home. It's my life. You should be grateful to be in it." His parents encouraged it. Came over unannounced. Criticized the interior. Acted like it was their house and Maria was just a guest. "You're lucky Alex puts up with you," Tracy said with an understanding smile. Maria stopped arguing. Fighting for respect where you don't get it from the start is pointless. And that's when everything changed. A call from a lawyer. Her uncle died. They weren't really close. But he left her $22 million. The inheritance was all hers. When she told Alex, he froze. "Wait, how much?" From that moment on, everything changed. The very people who'd treated her like she was nothing suddenly smiled. Tracy invited her to lunch in person. I always knew you were special. Andrew, who had barely spoken to her in 6 years, started asking about investments. Alex, gentle, caring. Let's start a business. Let's go on vacation. Let's buy real estate. Together. Maria saw it all. She didn't say a word. Let them think they'd won. While they were making plans at her expense, Maria had already met with a lawyer. Picked up the prenup. And started reading it. She played the part. She played it perfectly. She was back to being the soft, caring wife. Alex thought they were a team again. Her parents thought she'd forgiven them. At the same time, Maria opened a separate account. In her own name. She transferred her inheritance into it. Alex had no access. Then she went back to the lawyer. And it turns out Tracy and Andrew were so focused on protecting their son, they hadn't thought of anything to protect Alex from her. He wasn't entitled to a dime of her fortune. Maria almost laughed. The very document that was supposed to destroy her became her shield. Then there was the private detective. One night Alex left his cell phone on the nightstand. Message. Can't wait to meet you. Last time was amazing. Lucy. Photos. Texts. Meetings. This had been going on for months, even before the inheritance. He was playing the long game. He wanted her to secure his future. Then he wanted out. Maria didn't make a scene. She just collected evidence. Photos. Video. Everything. Alex came home one night. Cheerful. Dad had offered a fancy investment. Maria put the divorce papers on the table. Is this a joke? He muttered. You're not going to make it, and then she opened the prenup. See this line? The husband has no rights to property the wife received during the marriage. Alex went pale. Looking for a loophole. Didn't find it. You've got it all figured out, Maria said. Only you forgot that I have something to lose, too. And now you have nothing to take. The next envelope is photos. Lucy. Kisses. Hotels. Tell your lawyer I have everything. We'll be in touch. The next day, Tracy called. Maria didn't pick up. Then she answered. How could you do this to Alex? You ruined his life. And you made me sign a prenup. And now you're angry that I'm not left with nothing? Tracy, you're gonna regret it. I don't think so. They sued. They wanted to challenge the contract. They said the terms were unfair. But they wrote it. The trial. Alex, Tracy, Andrew with 3 lawyers. Maria with a lawyer and a financial expert. While their side was arguing, her lawyer put out a folder, Your Honor, documents on the Andersons company. Judge, Mr. Andersons, do you realize the seriousness of what you're being charged with? Fraud. Tax evasion. Double bookkeeping. Alexei was a co-owner, so he's under investigation. The court recognized the contract as valid. Maria's inheritance is untouchable. And the Anderson family is under investigation. The empire collapsed. Maria walked out of that courtroom rich, free, and at peace. Months passed. Phone call. Lucy. You were right. He's got nothing now. He said it would start all over again. And now he's alone. He's not my husband anymore, Maria said. And hung up. Alex was rumored to be back with his parents. Not to a mansion in Greenwich, but to a rented apartment in New Jersey. No company. No money. No friends. And Maria bought a house by the ocean. In Santa Barbara. Her own. With her own money. And now no one tells her she's lucky to be part of someone else's world. Because now she's a world worth protecting.